Hi everyone. Today in our North American literature class, we're going to talk about Mark Twain's novel, The Prince and the Pauper. First, a little insight of this famous author. Mark Twain was born Samuel Clemens in 1835 in Missouri, USA. He was the sixth of seven children born to John Clemens, a lawyer, and his wife Jane. When he was 11, his father died. To support his family, Samuel became a printer's apprentice at the Missouri Courier. His keen power of observation and sharp memory later provided him with a wealth of inspiration that he used frequently in his writings as Mark Twain. He was looking for a follow-up novel to The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, which established him as an author of fiction for the young at heart in 1836. Although he started its sequel that year, writing Adventures of Huckleberry Finn proved more difficult than he anticipated, and so he shelved it and turned attention to another project, The Prince and the Pauper, that was released in 1881. The Prince and the Pauper by Mark Twain. Edward Tudor is the son of Henry VIII, male heir for the throne of England. Tom Canty is the son of John Canty, who is a beggar and a thief. They were born on the same date in London. Tom's been forced to beg day by day, but Father Andrew taught him how to write and read, and also a bit of Latin that later helped him in court. He also told him stories about nobility. One day Edward and Tom met in London and they got amazed by the other's lives. Edward admired Tom's freedom and Tom Edward's luxury. They exchanged clothes and found out that they looked alike. Edward didn't pay attention to his clothes, and the guard thought he was the pauper and kicked him out of the palace. Tom took Edward's place as a Prince of England. He lived in a luxurious place, but rumor started to spread that he was mad. When the king talked to his son, he gave orders: first, that Duke of Norfolk be killed so the prince can be named heir; second, don't talk about the prince's madness; and finally he commanded to his son not to talk and try to recover from his madness. With the help of a book of English etiquette, Tom's performances are getting better in court.
Edward is in a canteen room. He is considered mad for his delusion of being the prince of the world. He got beaten for not carrying money to his home. Edward escaped when they are told that John has killed a man. During a supper, Edward claimed he was the real prince, and people laughed at him and tried to beat him until might protect him. Henry died, and Tom is a king now. His third act is to free Duke of Norfolk, might protecting the prince from John Canting, and for all of his royalty is mad at night. Mid-handle looked for clothes, but his back to the prince had gone. John Canty took him. Tom is learning how to cope with the role as a king. White Edward is lived in a bar by John and Hugo. He's a complete Edward hear about a lot of injustice committed by the Lord and say they will he abolished because he is now the king. By they mocked and bid for to join a troop of vagabonds. Edward escaped from Hugo and custody and hid in an empty bar. He slept no next to the calf. The next day children awoke him, believing he is the real king. They took him to their mother, and she took care of him. The day he saw Hugo and canting in front of the house, and escaped to the wood, he go to the hermit. He was totally inside. Edward is a counting room. He is considered a match for his delusion of being the prince of the Wells. He got beaten for not carrying money to his home. Edward escaped when they are told that the young has killed a man. During a supper, Edward claimed he was the real prince, and the people laughed at him, tried to beat him until might protect him. Henry died and Tom is a king now, the third act to be freed Duke of Norfolk. Might protect him the prince for John Canting, for all of loyalty is mad and night. Might handle loot for clothes, but when he is back to the prince has gone. John Canting told him. Tom is learning how to cope with the role as a king, while the Edwards live in a park. John and Hugo, he's a complete Edward heard about a lot of injustice committed by the Lord and say they will be abolished because he is now the king. By the mouth has been forced to join a troop of vagabonds. Edward escaped from Hugo and caused to them in him an empty bar. He slept next to the calf. The next day, children awoke him, believing he is the real king. They took him to their mother, and she took care of him. The day he saw a woman encamping in front of the house and escaped to the wood. He got to the army. He was totally inside.
The hermit took care of him until he realized he is Henry's son. He was about to stab the boy with his knife when Miles arrived. Then Edward is in Hugo's hands again. He made him to beg and steal again. The prince refused to be part of such activities, and Hugo took him to the law. He made to the prince guilty and stealing. Edward was about to be beaten by the crowd when Miles Hendon appeared one more time. Miles' mean brother Hugh accused him to be an impostor of his dead brother, and the prince is in jail. Miles is sentenced to sit 2 hours in the pillory. Also, he took 12 slashes. Then they were able to win back to London. On the coronation day, the prince showed up and stabbed the archbishop to crown Tom's hand. They tried several times to determine the boys' identities when the location of the Seal of England is suggested. Edward told the Lord St. John where the seal is located. Miles Hendon is made knight, Tom is made the king's ward, and his sisters and mother are granted lifetime care at the Christ Hospital. Hey brothers, well, there are my recordings. I'm not very sure how good or how bad I did it, but somehow I did it. So tell me if I had to correct something, cause well, maybe I made some mistakes and I just wanted to correct them if I had to. So, well, I'm gonna be waiting here, and if I can send the correction when you let me know, I will.